Hi guys, this is Bayo from Viltrox Studios, and I'm here with CAMERAjOINT to review some amazing Viltrox lenses for Fujifilm. So come along with me as we test out some of these lenses, and I'll be giving you my honest review in terms of sharpness, quality, the build, and every good thing you need to know about these lenses before you put your money on them. I own a 23mm Fuji f2. I've had this for a couple of years, and this guy has been with me. And as you guys can see, it's had these battle marks. But this lens is one of the strongest lenses I've seen, one of the sharpest lenses I've owned. But I'm going to test it alongside the Viltrox and see how well that they handle. All right, so this is the Viltrox 56 1.7. So it has that original Viltrox seal. It's really nice. This is amazing. So they no longer do instruction manuals anymore. They just do like a QR code, and then you go on the website and you find all the manuals about your lens, all the information about your lens. Here you have a lens pouch from Viltrox. It's really nice, comes in very handy. And we have wow. I have the Viltrox 56 1.7. I think one of the things I like about this, or I find intriguing about this, is the fact that it's super light. And I mean, it's not bulky, so obviously it fits perfectly on your camera without having to add to the general weight. I feel like in terms of weight compared to the Fuji 23 f2, I think they're similar in terms of weight, but this feels a bit lighter. But yeah, let's test it out and see how good it performs. All right, it moves around the apertures quickly, just like the other Viltroxes I've seen, and the colors are actually nice. The focus is fast. I mean, it locks in really fast, which is surprising. I've tried a couple of Viltroxes over the years, and I mean, it takes about 1 or 2 seconds to lock in, but this one locks in instantly. I mean, you can hear how fast it moves. This is incredible for an air lens. Okay, so I'm just going to test with this subject here and see how well it focuses. So, I mean, first impression to me is the focus is fast. There aren't too many lenses that gives you this very fast focus. So, and I'm not trying to hype Viltrox, because the earlier series, I know they've had their issues and everything, but this one, it feels different. And surprisingly, the images look very, very crisp, as you can see on the image right now. Like it's surprising, because the first series of Viltrox, there's no way you could shoot at the widest aperture, but this one I'm shooting at 1.7 and the images are stark sharp. And this is one thing that we photographers always want. I mean, what's the point of having a fast aperture lens that you can't shoot at the widest aperture? For me, being able to use this at 1.7, it feels like I'm shooting at 4.0, because that sharpness, I have that with this lens. I think it's a huge upgrade from Viltrox, because over years they've improved. The AF is fast. I can't say it's 1 second. It's literally faster than a second. It's like you click on it, it moves, and the colors are fantastic. I know a couple of lenses that usually would change your color science, but the colors on this 56 1.7 is fantastic. It's consistent. I put it on white balance, auto white balance, so that you can see what the difference would be like. But then it's perfect, it's sharp, and it focuses fast. I will give this a thumbs up. If I had to rate it, I think, if I'm being very, very generous, I'll give this a 9.5 over 10, because I haven't used it for a full event. But I mean, first impression, this lens is fast. Honestly, if you're looking for a lens on a budget for portrait photographers, I think this is the lens for you. My mind is blown just how good this lens is. I own a Sigma 1.4 56 mm, and I don't think I see a difference in terms of the aperture. Obviously, you're supposed to get more depth of field at 1.4 compared to 1.7, but I feel like the details is very minute, and for the price, If I have to do it all over again, I definitely would get this Viltrox because it ticks all the boxes for me. It's sharp, the colors are right, and the AF, which is one of the things that we photographers always prioritize. The AF is fantastic. If I have to choose, it's budget-wise, overall, I would go for this. The good thing is it's light, so you don't have to worry about the the bulkiness and everything. I have to do it side by side with my with my war tank, my Fuji 23mm f2. Now bear in mind that this is f2, so you get a little bit more aperture on this one. This is 1.7. There are two things I like to say about them. When Fuji first dropped the first line of lenses, that's the 23mm 1.4. Just before the new release, the first one, I think one of the biggest issues they had was focus and sharpness. So they released these versions, and a lot of people actually went for the 2.0 versions because I think the word that was spread around the internet is razor sharp. This lens is razor sharp. I haven't seen a lens as sharp as this lens. Yes, obviously I might not get the depth of field that I need, but for a 23mm, I need sharpness, I need colors. This lens has it. I like to do a test, side-by-side test. Obviously, I won't get that depth of field. I won't be comparing depth of field because they're two different things, but I like to compare sharpness and I like to compare colors. Okay, so now that they're side by side on the screen, you can see that they have the same sharpness. Depth of field aside, this shot that's f2. You will find that the colors are consistent, which is very, very important because there are some lenses that takes your colors and puts them off, and you have to start doing a lot of work in post-processing, which is an issue. But the difference between the Viltrox 56 1.7 and my Fuji 23 2.0, they are both sharp. In terms of speed, I would say that they literally arrive at the same time. They are just as fast. It's hard to tell them apart, which is a good thing because you can't compare the prices. They are both fast. I would say that. Testing it in low light is a different ballgame entirely. I think that in itself is where you might notice some differences. If I have to choose a portrait lens right now, just going into Fujifilm, this definitely would be my pick. The focal length is great. It's easy. The lens is lightweight. Great depth of field. Honestly, I don't see a difference between 1.7 and 1.4 if I'm being completely honest. I think this is a deal. If you're into deals, don't hesitate. Don't miss out on this one. It is fantastic. There's a lens that I've reviewed online for a very long time. I've had nothing but great news about this lens. In fact, if you have to look at the whole lineup, it's the lens that has the most bokeh. It has amazing depth of field, and it's no other than it's Viltrox 75 1.2. This lens is everything. Now, this is the first time I'm trying it out, so I'm excited. I'm really excited to see if the legend is true. The stories are true. So has the Viltrox seal, and I love the consistency. Voila. Okay. So this has the manual, obviously traditional paper manual. I think first impression for me is this is luxury. Honestly, it feels like I'm unboxing something worth over $20,000 US because the packaging is beautiful. Woo. Okay, so if you don't go to the gym, this is very good exercise. This lens is heavy. As it should be. And I think one of the things you also need to realize about this lens, interesting, is it's on the Pro line series. The Air lenses are great, but they're into different categories. So you have the Air ones, you have the Pro ones. So obviously this means that this is well built. And come on, look at that. This is a well built lens. This is exquisite. Okay, can't wait to try this out. This lens feels heavier on my camera. Viltrox, yeah. Yeah, you guys are not playing. You know the feeling of the Canon 700 to 200 mm 2.8 lens, where it feels like you need to put like a monopole because it's heavy. I mean, it's not that heavy, but I'm just saying like it feels well built. Like this is a professional lens. We're gonna test it out, see what it looks like. Wow. What? No. Okay, as you can see, this depth of field is mind-blowing. I've been using the Fujifilm system for the past 8 years, and in that time I can tell you I haven't seen a lens with this much depth of field. I own the Fujifilm 90 f2. The depth of field is nice. Obviously, you can't compare it to the 56 series. Obviously, the more focal length, the more depth of field you have. But this being a 75 and having 1.2, I literally can't see anything in the background. Like, it is quick to autofocus, which is another. I mean, I'm shooting at 1.2, so this for me is new from Viltrox, because one of the biggest flaws, the first generation Viltrox, was that their lenses, if you have a 1.4 lens, you probably won't get that stark sharp image till you maybe shoot at, f2, because at f1.4, some of the images, might not be sharp all around. But this one, no, this is impressive. I feel like Viltrox, they've taken the feedback and they've done their work, their homework, and they've come out with an amazing product. Honestly, if you were looking for depth of field, as I love depth of field, and you know what? Forget depth of field, man. Just buy this lens. This lens is everything. Honestly, depth of field is the creamiest bokeh I've seen. The focus, and just right behind it, this is going to be beautiful for portraits. If you want that, sweet bokeh, if you want that personal portrait where you get some depth of field on the skin, this is the lens for you. And this lens, honestly, it feels like if it drops, you don't have any worries. It feels like if it drops, you just pick it up, because I don't see this lens falling apart. The lens ring is perfect. This is it. In terms of color, I think it produces just the same color as the Air 56 1.7 and the Fuji 23 f2. Now, keep in mind that I'm shooting this on the X-T5, so this is one of the best cameras for Fujifilm on the market right now. The colors are consistent, the system is perfect. So honestly, this is a lens you need. If you have the money to splash on a professional lens, I feel you should get this. Now, the question is, who is this lens for? If you're a portrait photographer and you need depth of field, you do a lot of outdoor shoots, and obviously which would require depth of field and everything, this is the lens for you. If you are a portrait photographer and you shoot studio photography, you shoot portrait photography in the studio, keep in mind that the 56 1.7 Viltrox is also a portrait lens, but obviously there's a difference in terms of focal distance. This is the 56 and this is the 75, so you obviously have more. It's more of a closer lens, but then it's a huge difference between the 1.2 and the 1.7. Now, they are priced differently, so I don't think we can do like a fair comparison between the both of them. But I'll say that if you want to go, if you're just about to buy a portrait lens and you need something affordable, this guy is fantastic. But if you want to get something very, very professional, like an all-round lens that gives you depth of field, great color, I forgot to mention the focus on this guy too is just incredible. I think that this is the lens for you. If you have the money, go for this lens. I feel like this kind of lens you want to put beside your pillow just to wake up in the morning and stare at. This lens is beautiful. Honestly, part of my excitement, I've had a couple of Fuji lenses and Viltrox and Sigma lenses, but in all honesty, I don't think I've used any lens that has this much depth of field. And there are times when I need that bokeh for my work. I need just a good amount. I feel like this lens just does that right, and the fact that it is well built. I mean, like, it's one click focus. It's no. And even in multiple shots, I'm not missing anything. The focus is crisp. Kudos to Viltrox for this. This is a masterpiece. I feel like this is the portrait lens. This is the one. If you can afford it, obviously, but yeah, this is great. The depth of field is what? No. I don't think you would know what's up with this lens. What? Now, this is an old timer. This is the Viltrox 85 1.8 Mark II. I've used this lens. I'd say it was one of the OG lenses when we started with Fujifilm. And honestly, I think I have nothing but good things to say about this lens. Obviously, newer lenses will have newer technology, more updated, speed and everything. But this lens definitely is a good one. I'm going to try it out again and share my feedback with you guys. Okay, this doesn't feel like the old one. I think Viltrox has done something with this 85 1.8 because this wasn't on the old one. Definitely wasn't on the old one. I think this is a newer version of this lens. Okay, which makes this intriguing because I mean, if I tried the old one, I'm definitely happy to have new impressions about this one. Okay, let's snap it on the camera and see how it performs. Okay, the focus is fast as well. It takes about a second. Not honestly, if I had to compare the focus of the 85mm 1.8 Mark II to the 56 1.7 and the 75 1.2, I would say this catches up, but those are slightly faster. Don't get me wrong by any means. The speed is faster. I mean, like, it's been updated compared to like the other one, because the other one takes about like 2 seconds or 3 seconds to focus, but this isn't bad actually. I mean, and keep in mind this is 85, so this is more focal length, so it takes just a little more time to focus. So I think that's what it is. But in terms of color is actually very nice, and it gives amazing depth of field. Okay, so I think that this new 85mm 1.2 Mark II, 1.8 Mark II, is pretty solid. I remember the old one, you could barely shoot at 1.8. You could barely shoot out wide at 1.8 because you don't get that sharpness, you don't get that crisp all round edges and everything. But this, on the other hand, actually handles really well. I mean, as you can see on the screen, this image looks really sharp at 1.8. I think this is really impressive. I feel like Viltrox has really done their homework. And I mean, this is giving other brands a run for their money and giving a lot of photographers very affordable options. I mean, like, these are not even, second options. These are like main options. This is bang for bucks. This is good. This is really good. So I think in terms of depth of field, if I had to rank the 56mm 1.7, the 85mm 1.8 Mark II, and the 75mm 1.2, I would say this would rank second best in terms of depth of field, because the 75mm 1.2 gives you more depth of field, which is a huge plus. This is a really good portrait lens. If you shoot a lot of outdoor events or portraits where you need, a good focal length, this is definitely worth buying. For the price, it's definitely not bad. I mean, this is not the old one, so definitely I'll tell you, go for this. If it was the old one, I would slightly hesitate, but this new one is really good. It is really sharp. The depth of field is just about right. You can't compare the depth of field on this to the 1.7, obviously, because you have that focal length to give you more depth. In terms of color, the colors are fantastic, accurate. The speed, it's fast. I'm not gonna lie, I feel like the difference between 0.5 second and 1 second, I don't really see it there. And I mean, if if you're using an updated camera, this lens will be a problem. This lens is good. The AF is good. Now, don't get me wrong. I go into details talking about 0.5 seconds and 1 second, but I mean, this is something it doesn't really matter. You know, at the end of the day, you know, you're able to focus real quick. That's all that matters. This lens is really good. I would recommend this. I would recommend this if you shoot fast action. I would recommend this if you shoot a lot of outdoor events, outdoor sports, portraits as well. Obviously, price point at the end of the day would influence your decision. But if you have a lot of money, this is a very good competitor for the 75mm 1.2. But if I have to choose, if money is not the problem, if you want depth of field, if you want a well-built lens, a pro lens, absolutely the 1.2 75mm is the right choice. But if you want more focal length and you know you want to be able to get to your subject a bit faster since you're using a prime lens and you want something that gives you just a good amount of depth of field, then I feel like this lens is perfect for you as well. This lens is really good. I recommend it. So last but not the least lens that we'll be trying out today is the Viltrox 23mm 1.4. Obviously, for those who love to shoot wide angles, it's actually a very good offering from Viltrox. It shoots really well. Its focal length actually is just the same as the Fujifilm. So obviously, you know, there's some lenses that give you a slightly different focal length, but this one is just on par. I have tried it before, but I'll be doing it for review purposes. I'll be giving you my honest feedback based on this review. All right. Viltrox are always very generous with their lens bag. All right. Okay. This also feels a bit different from the first series. I think Viltrox has rebranded all of their lenses. Yeah, it feels really different from the first series 23mm 1.4. Let's try it out on the camera. All right. Oh. Okay, not bad. Something is definitely different because the first series of the 23mm f 1.4 that I had of the Viltrox, it was good, but it wasn't fast. It wasn't fast at all, and I didn't feel like we had sharpness at 1.4. So that was one of the reasons why we switched to other lenses at the time. But I feel like this is different because this is at 1.4 and I'm getting really crisp images. The focus is really fast. It's just as fast as the Air and the 1.2 75mm. Okay. Honestly, I don't really see a difference with my 23mm f2, and this is razor sharp. I mean, like I can guarantee this lens any day, anytime. But this is actually performing really well, and the colors actually work. I mean, in all, I think one of the things I can say is Viltrox have actually done their work. They've, you know, taken feedback and they've worked on it. And there's nothing as beautiful as, you know, when a company can actually take feedback from, you know, creatives and, you know, go back, make it work, and still come back with the right products at a good amount. This honestly is fantastic. If I had to pick up like a new series of lenses, I definitely will do all Viltrox because the offerings and, you know, the quality for me, it's amazing. It's mind-blowing. I think they've done a really good work. So we've come to the end of this review. I think very honest feedback would be most of the new Viltroxes, because I can tell you that these are definitely not the old ones that we're used to. Most of the Viltrox, especially the 23s, 1.4, the 1.4 series, most of them are actually super improved and they're new versions. So they don't have the same issues that the old ones have. Across board, there's a color consistency. There's a speed consistency across board as well. You also need to know that the 1.4 lenses and the 1.7 lenses, they're different. And then the 75 1.2 is actually a pro lens. And I think there's a 16mm 1.4 as well. There's a pro lens as well. You need to know the different categories because obviously the price and the build quality would differ. But aside from that, I think Viltrox in itself, as a company, they've done an amazing work, and most of the lens offerings that they have on the market are actually amazing. Obviously, you should pick them up at CAMERAjOINT. If you're a Fujifilm photographer, I think that this is an opportunity for you to buy great lenses and save money. Now, the other lenses available, obviously, we know they're more expensive. Not to say you shouldn't get those. Obviously, they're available at CAMERAjOINT as well. But for the Viltrox, honestly, if I had to, get a new camera today and get all new lenses, I definitely would go 100% for the all Viltrox, because they're doing it's great quality for an affordable amount. I mean, who doesn't want a good price? In terms of my favorites, because I have to choose a favorite among these lenses, it's hard to pick. Because all the lenses actually are fantastic. The Air series, obviously I tried out the 56mm 1.7, it's really good, but I also know that there's the 35mm 1.7 available and the 25mm 1.7. Obviously the 25mm and the 23mm, they're in the same category of wide angle lenses, but the Air is super impressive. I mean, lightweight, budget friendly, but it's fantastic. Now, in terms of build quality and depth of field, because I mean, this is what is influencing my decision as my favorite lens, amongst everything here, would be the 75mm 1.2. Now, hear me out. The reason why it's my favorite is because in terms of all the lenses available on the market, there's no lens with that amount of depth of field. There's none. I'm talking Fujifilm, I'm talking Sigma, I'm talking Tamron. There is no lens right now that has that amount of depth of field. No, I haven't seen any like that. And the most interesting thing, it's bang for bucks. It's a really good price. So it's a no-brainer. I would definitely choose that. But it takes away from, it doesn't take away from the quality of the other lenses. They're fantastic. And I think it's a great pair with your Fujifilm camera. So don't forget to buy your Fujifilm camera and your Viltrox lenses from CAMERAjOINT. Thank you so much for having me. Appreciate you.